everybody, welcome back. Got another Envoy video for you. This time, primarily Ant-Man and Wasp reworks. Not gigantic, but good enough. And we're going to quickly go through the Stature and Yellowjacket. There's some numbers to it that we got. We'll look at, obviously, their stats to see how they rank up on everything. There's some adjustment in Ant-Man and Wasp stats. I thought Ghost was deserving to be on her own, given her kit, how good she was. These guys we'll kind of look at collectively. And maybe a little bit more of that, Pim Tech talk with Dark Dimension 4. So let's go check it out and see what you guys think.
Bring me WolverThor!
First, I want to say that I love this comment right here in the footage we got. Go away. Go away. Noob PvP challengers. I love it. Scopely, you guys rock. Alright, so the stature stuff, like I mentioned, you guys saw most of this thing. I'm not going to read this in detail. The basic got the 280% damage. We'll look at her stats in a minute. The special got 310% damage, not too bad. 400% damage for the ultimate, and that's attack primary and adjacents. And then the passive, we knew about most of this stuff with the 50% health drops. The 50% focus increase, that's a normal. That's there all the time, so that's really, really nice. 50% focus, when we're looking at these stats, that's huge. So, I personally love seeing that. It's great. And then we already knew the Dark Dimension health, max health game. Yellowjacket. He's your blaster. He's also obviously tech, or he's tech along with the other group. Stature was the one bio there. His basics 250% damage. There's a bonus for 230. His special, the steel 30% health. Receive an additional 4,000. So that's kind of nice when you do that, where you're getting some additional help. Gain evade, which, if you watch the Ghost video, that's critical. You want those evades, so he's helping give that evade to himself. Dark Dimension, prolong all positive effects on this character by a duration of 1 to a maximum of 4. So that could become even more critical with him, so that if in my opinion, you want him way off to his side somewhere as well, or at least not adjacent to someone, so that way that positive effect, that evade, can stack at least up to 4, so that can help get heals out there. That'll be critical. The ultimate takeover, 400% damage on the primary and 350% to the adjacents. That's, again, we knew about that. And then the passive, don't cross me. We got some offense up. You get additional speed and drain. And then we knew about the additional damage in Dark Dimension. So that's, again, that's great. We'll look at the stats for these guys in a second. The Dark Dimension between him and Stature and now Ghost is just great. So let's look at Ant-Man and Wasp. All right, so Ant-Man improved health and armor by 12%. Okay, I would have liked to see a little bit more on some of the other abilities, but we do get some increased damage on the basic from, and now this is T4 ability from 270 to 300. Okay. Special, the increase here is the attack primary target. You get some additional damage there. The ability block for 2 turns. You gain an assist from an ally Wasp, so that's pretty nice. So anytime you use a special, you can assist from Wasp. His ultimate, you increase damage at all ability levels. It doesn't say exactly what the damage increase is here, but it's just good to see some additional damage levels there. And actually, we've got a video for it, so let's go look exactly what those damage levels are. So Stomp, you can see that at T4s here that it's 280% damage, which is kind of like, okay. And then again, if Wasp is there, 320. All right, not great. If you looked at him in game right now, which I'm clicking up on my other screen here, his ability is, so it's basically been doubled, which is really nice. At least the attack all enemies, it was 280, or it was 140 before, which is hilarious. And then the all enemies would have been 170. So, it's a bit better there. You like seeing that. It's a little bit less than half there, but quite a bit of a boost there on his ultimate damage increase. His passive, the adjustments here, you can see there's an additional 10% chance to gain evade. You know, see, you can see that it loses this 15% chance to gain assist now. Why is that? Let's look. On Pimtech Hero ally turn, so that's going to be Stature and Wasp, 30% chance to gain assist now. On Pimtech ally turn, 60% chance to gain assist now. I don't know if those stack or not, but it's kind of weird. That's like, why would the hero be anyway? So I'd like to think that they stack with on hero you gain an additional 30%. So and then on any Pimtech ally turn you have 60%. If this character does not gain assist now, apply assist now to ally Yellowjacket, which frankly I'd much rather have Yellowjacket assisting, and you'll know that when we look at his damage here in a second. So, and then in Dark Dimension, like the rest of these Pimtech, on spawn, if this character has 4 or more Pimtech allies, apply evade to self and all Pimtech allies. So that is huge for this team. If you want to go into Dark Dimension with Pimtech, this by itself makes it so that you're like, well, wait a minute, I have to bring Ant-Man. You want to guarantee that these guys at least start with evades to get those heals. I mean, I suppose maybe you could think about it. Then the part is also if this character has 4 or more Pimtech allies. So I'm assuming that doesn't count himself. So that means you basically have to have a full team of Pimtech allies. None of that tap stuff. You can't just bring 3 of them in there and use them. If you want this ability in Dark Dimension, you got to bring all of them. So make sure you understand that before you start building up him and just 1 or 2 other ones. Otherwise, this does not apply. Now, let's check out Wasp. All right, she gets the same 12% base armor, which is fine. And you also remove the charge mechanic, which is honestly great because it was so annoying to try to get that charge aspect so that her special would stun. I was like, ugh. Her basic, she gets a little bit more damage. You're guaranteed chain to the adjacent target for 10% more damage. The special, the old here, let's see, old, new. All right, yeah, so you get 30% more damage. Like I mentioned, you get the stun now. You don't have to worry about charged. Bonus attack 2 times for 230% damage. So instead of the bonus attack 1 to 2, it's 2 and a little bit harder, which is nice. And then ultimate increased damage for all ability levels. So we've got a video for her, so let's go check out her ultimate increase. Okay, so at level 7 here with her Flight of the Wasp, it's 330%, which it's only 30% more, which is okay. I mean, the original bump there was 30%, now it's 50 to get you to the 330. I've got her at level 6, and it's 270%. So really, yeah, I mean, really, it's like a 30% increase at that level, which is like, okay, nah, it's fine, it's not bad, nothing too exciting, but all right, so that's the upgrade there. And then the passive old is on dodge, gain charge. Now it's just 25% dodge chance, which was already there. And in Dark Dimension, on spawn, if this character has 4 more Pimtech allies, apply immunity for 2 turns to self and all Pimtech allies. Now it's interesting because it's like, okay, so she's applying immunity, and if I remember correctly here up above, let's see, who was it? Yeah. So Ant-Man is just applying the evade, so that was the difference. So in the video we saw earlier, I actually might have been in the Ghost video, that you saw the immunity and the evades get applied at the start of a turn. You got Ant-Man doing the evades and Wasp doing the immunities. So, you know, at the front end there, it's kind of like, okay, so what do those guys bring to the table? They bring the insta immunity and the insta evades, which Ant-Man, to me, that's way more important. You know, Wasp here, I'm like, all right, she hits a little bit more. It's nice. You know, you go back to Ant-Man here. I'm kind of like, okay, we got an assist on a special from Wasp, which is nice, but, you know, I'm not necessarily bringing a tune just for that. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, on spawn, apply evade to Wasp if she's an ally. So that's, again, that was there. And then on turn, you're just getting 25% chance to gain evade. So, I don't know. I mean, the reworks aren't bad. I wish the Ant-Man and Wasp would have gotten a little bit more in Dark Dimension. To be honest with you, maybe some stat gains there. You know, I know we've got Stature. Let's see, where's our Stature at? Here she is. You get 20% max health for your allies in Dark Dimension. and she's giving them focus, and then Yellowjacket's giving them damage. Ghost is giving some speed. It's kind of like, I don't know, maybe some resist armor somewhere. I don't know who would have given that, but that's what we got for these characters. Let's look at the stats to wrap this thing up. Like I mentioned at all of the front end of all of these videos, I've got this giant spreadsheet that I rank all the stats. You know, there's a baseline that I use from msf.gg, and during these Envoy videos, we get a video that shows us some stats. We got to figure out, you know, how much Stark Tech's there and all that kind of stuff. Did get some of that information with some of that interpolation. We should be pretty close. You know, Yellowjacket comes in at, and I will say, and I mentioned this in the Ghost video, I was slightly disappointed with the new tunes that you get. Normally a lot more stats in these, or at least like a top 25 situation. It's not bad, but it's not great. I was hoping the video that we got had 0 Stark Tech on it, but it didn't. I was like, if it had 0, I was like, oh man, these guys are going to be way up there in the rankings, which would have been great, and which you would have thought, but it just wasn't the case. So, you know, Yellowjacket, he came in at 40th, 113th health, damage 22nd, which is the key. Plus, you add another 20% on that, and it actually gets pretty stupid high. It's like he's number 1. So he's going to hit hard, which is awesome. And like I mentioned, the assist with Ant-Man there, if Ant-Man doesn't get the assist now, it's pretty nice. High armor, like the rest of these guys, at 48. Focus, again, very high, which is going to be higher with the stature bonus, the passive bonus there. Resist is okay, 76. Speed, again, okay, 62. He comes in ranked, you know, with an average 63.2, but the 40th character in the game. Ghost, we already went over in her video. Stature, this was even more disappointing. I was like, all right, she's at 75th. 119th ranked HP. You know, and you want her to be able to take some hits, so we'll check the armor out in a second. Damage, yeah, 73. I just mentioned armor, ranked 50th. That's pretty solid. Focus, 61st, but again, we'll go way up. Resistance is super high, so hopefully it's at number 12. It's at rank 12, which means, you know, hopefully she's not going to have that taunt cleared at all, and, you know, the synergy she's got with Ant-Man, be able to flip it back and forth. She'll hold that for a bit, put the evades on Ant-Man, you know, get more heals, evade. Think about that for a second. Ant-Man gets that taunt, evade, heal, evade, heals, evade, heals. When you got Ghost, you're doing some good things there, and you just get in that cycle, which would be awesome. Speed's 95th, which is atrocious. It's really slow. So, you know, I suppose that's not terrible if you can keep people on you. And then eventually once you get to half health, you know, then you're throwing it over to Ant-Man, again, with evades, which is awesome. Ranked, you know, average rank across the board is 72. And then we've got to scroll down here. Wasp is still pretty low at 106. You know, there's really nothing to talk much about here. Her stats are not, there's nothing really that jumps out at you. There's the old one, which was a little bit lower at 122. And then Ant-Man is still way, way down here at the bottom. So, you know, his focus is pretty solid, but again, it doesn't need to be because stature's 50% increase. You know, his armor's not great. His speed's not great. His damage isn't great. His damage is terrible. So it's, you know, he's still a pretty lackluster tune. If it wasn't for some of his utility there, you know, he's... Ugh. And then Ant-Man, he's just... The old one was almost right at the bottom. I mean, there's not a... You look at these characters down here, and they're not super great. So we'll do an outro where you can kind of see some of the footage that we got, and I'll wrap up kind of this last Envoy. So this is another Dark Dimension video, which you'll see since they've got, you know, Wasp and Ant-Man there. You get the evades and the immunities. But again, like you just saw before, you lost 3 evades because of an adjacent hit. So, you know, and Ghost gets hers back, which is nice. Okay, cool. You know, and if you watch this whole video, honestly, and I don't mean the one that you're seeing with me, but the one that we've got up on the screen right now, they last for a while. It's not too bad. You'll get a Doctor Strange flip here in a little bit, which you're kind of like, wait, what are you going to do there? You know, how am I going to deal with cleanses and stuff like that? Again, the immunity, that's something that I think Wasp probably should have had more on, is like, you know, if Wasp is at 75% or higher, or something like that, apply immunity to all Pimtech, you know, kind of a Venom-esque aspect to her kit. Because at some point, once you get through some abilities here, if, you know, you get slowed up or you can't go, and, you know, Doctor Strange flips all your evades, or, okay, now you're in real trouble. So I could see that being a potential problem. But the team is pretty solid for Dark Dimension. You know what I mean? So, I still haven't decided if I'm going to go and just level all them up for Dark Dimension 4 or not. See, here's the flip here. It's so at this point it's kind of like, oh, okay, what am I going to do here now? Again, you're not really looking at slowdowns, but you're looking at the disrupteds, and it's like, oh, okay, so now I can't get any evades. So, can they make it through this? If you've got a heavy AoE at this point, did Stature put some defense downs on people? What's going to happen with that? That could get really, really problematic. Even, again, offense down now on Yellowjacket. But if you can get through that and keep going, and you get, the Stature taunt, then, okay, I'm feeling pretty decent. But, like I said, this Pimtech team does seem pretty solid for Dark Dimension. I could see some fun and annoying aspects of these guys, in maybe like a war defense. That just, if you get some evades, get some extra heals, get some defensive wins out of it. I could see that. I could definitely see that. So I'm not going to sleep on these guys in war. I could definitely see some, annoying aspects of it. But, as I mentioned, Doctor Strange flipping buffs, that's probably what I'm going to do to counter them in war, is I'd expect like a supernatural and just heal block with Mordo, even though the ultimate from Ghost heals through that. So, I don't know. We'll see. I hope you guys, appreciated what was here. If it helped at all, like, I'm not sure it did much. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. I would love to test these guys in Dark Dimension 4 or even 3. Build them up pretty high, see what I can get. I think a lot of whales are probably going to do it really quick. Right now, my gut feeling is I'm not going to go crazy with it, because I've got a lot of characters already built up, especially global, and but it depends how many global nodes there are. If there's a whole bunch of global nodes, maybe. But do I really want to risk, bringing Stature over one of my symbiotes for City? I don't know, because this team, I feel like if I'm going to bring this team to Dark Dimension 4, I need the whole team. And that's where I get a little wary. So, anyway, appreciate you guys stopping by. Hammer down on that like button, notification bell, subscription button, all that kind of good fun stuff. Share with your alliance mates, etc. And until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.